Mental stigma is when someone treats you in a negative way because of your mental illness. This is discrimination. Stigma happens when a person defines someone by their illness rather than by who they are as an individual. For example, they might be labeled psychotic rather than a person experiencing psychosis. Mental health in diverse community is a complex and important topic. It is essential to recognize the diverse community may face unique challenges and disparities in accessing mental health care and support. Mental health illness in diverse community goes a long way. People in this community do not get enough care and attention due to the stigma that comes with this condition. When you talk about mental health in this community, people tend to shy away from it due to the way it has been seen among the diverse communities. It is seen as a taboo and sometimes spiritual problem. Young people in this community do not have the courage to stand out and reach out for help when necessary because of the fear of getting judged by people from their community. People in diverse community may be viewed in a negative way, treated differently and made to feel ashamed or worthless, as if they are somehow less than other people. People in these communities do not recognize they have mental illness because mental health was stigmatized or never talked about in their community. Mental health problems are rarely recognized or spoken about. They may be seen as shameful or embarrassing. When addressing mental health in diverse community, it requires a multi-phased approach, including an open conversation about mental health within the community to reduce stigma and promote seeking help. Ensuring that mental health services are culturally sensitive and provided by professionals who understand the cultural nuances and experiences of people. Improving access to affordable and quality mental health care promotes mental health awareness and address the social demerits of mental health. Strengthening community support system to provide resources and outlets for individuals in need.
I think how the college reduces the stigma related to mental health disorders in the college is making sure that we celebrate our differences. We don't want everyone to be the same. Wouldn't it be really boring if everyone was like you and I? And also in terms of the college, what I really like about the college is that we do have young people as young as 15, and we do have a lot of adults and stuff here as well. And also we have over 300 students that might have a learning difficulty, disability, and another 300 that might have some sort of neurodiversity. So as we're here as one community and we do activities together and celebrate the differences, that's going to help release, sort of remove some of that stigma.
The college, Lewisham College, has a series of tutorial programs around mental health and diversity, and make sure that students are aware that there are services that they can tap into should they require, additional help or support. Lecturers are able to point students in the right direction, but also students are able to self-refer to these services so that they can access help when they need it.
So experiences around early intervention, around the positive impact on their mental health and well-being, it's about making sure you recognise the signs, and I think particularly the student population looking after each other. You know your friends, you know your classmates, you know when something's changed in them in terms of have they retracted, have they stopped attending college, are they not turned out as well as they did, have they stopped eating. So if everyone's looking after each other and identifies their signs and then flags them up onto my concern, then we can put an early intervention in place. As an example, I remember a previous student who was quite large and rapidly started losing quite a lot of weight. That was flagged up by his personal tutor. We then sat down with him and said, "You've lost a lot of weight. Is everything okay? Can we put everything to support you?" And thankfully, it was just as simple as that he'd been going to the gym quite a lot, and he'd then been sort of shredding, getting himself really, really fit. But what he hadn't done was then increased his diet or intake of carbohydrates or protein to then match the level of exercise that he was doing. So he got that balance wrong. That could have made him really ill, but thankfully it didn't, because we was able to intervene quite quickly.
I feel like parents should allow their children to actually just come forward to tell them. Some parents might think like you don't have a mental condition or you're just over-exaggerating. But mental health is real, it's 100% real. And parents just need to come at them with like respectfully, without like pressuring them, without discouraging them from doing anything. My personal experiences, I personally don't tell my parents if I'm going through something because they just believe it's just me being over-exaggerating and stuff like that. So I just stay quiet, I just lock myself up into my room, just do nothing, listen to music. Like there are times where my parents have asked me if I'm all right, but I'll just tell them I'm fine. But if someone is actually going through something like a mental health condition, I feel like they should try and speak to their parents. And if their parents do come at them like in the wrong way, then they should find someone else to speak to, like a psychologist, a friend, another family member, just in general, just someone different that you're comfortable with.
I think basically it's mostly when they try to make children uncomfortable, and they feel kind of anxious about what their parents tell to them.
One thing that both my parents say when I'm feeling like extremely down and not in the right mind, go pray, go this, go that, go take your mind off it by doing something. But it's never anything to do with like doing it together or doing it nicely. It's always like, oh, just go and pray, go and this, go and that. It's never like usually a kind way of saying it. Or they never usually have my back. So it's difficult. So I just lock myself up until I find someone else that I'm comfortable with. For example, my older brother. I speak to him about a lot of things. I don't tell him everything, but most things I tell my older brother. And I'm comfortable speaking to him because I know he's not going to go tell my parents this and that.
Don't usually talk about that with my family. It's like, I think I don't want to worry them. So it's just like normal conversations, but something mental, I'm not really sharing that.
I think, well, there are many ways we can educate people, but in terms of around the college, if that's your question, is having the kind of posters we have up around here, which sort of show that there is help and support out there with numbers to call or QR codes to scan where you can access those services.
So as a college, how we are trying to encourage the conversations to talk about mental health and removing some of the stigma is through our tutorial process. So that'd be quite structured, that each term will talk about a specialist subject, which mental health is in there, and as part of that. We do have the support team as well. So they will do a lot of like focused groups, so where people can go and talk about things that are bothering them, both in a collective group way, but also on an individual basis, and what they can do in terms of within the forums. And also as well, so we have the class reps process. So the reps will meet with the head of faculty and assistant principal once a term. And 3 times a year, we have a student council summit, which I attend. And again, it's something that's always on the top of the agenda to talk about that.
I think personally, in like every school, there should be just one space where there's constantly someone that you can speak to, and anyone in their own time can just go speak to the person. It should be like an environment where it's like you know you'll be comfortable. So it won't be like chairs, tables, this and that. Like bean bags, pillows, like anything that would make you feel comfortable. And I think for me, what calms me down when I'm stressed or if I'm feeling down, like doing art, because I do art and design anyway. So art like generally like calms me down. Listening to music calms me down. Just being on my own calms me down.
People need to be more open with themselves first, and they need to understand what they feel about themselves, and maybe find someone who they feel with comfortable, so they can share their feelings and what they think.